You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
Let's start seated. You can sit in butterfly if you like. Oh, if I'm going to sit in butterfly, I don't need my block. So let's take the soles of the feet just in front of you. Take hold of the ankles and just rock from side to side. And you'll start to feel those pointy bits of the pelvis, the sit bones, just rocking and rolling. Maybe the knee comes down and then you roll to the other side. See if you kind of teeter on one side rather than the other. And then just find yourself back into the center. Give yourself a little bit of wiggle. Make sure there's enough space in front of you there, and you can roll the shoulders back and just turn the palms face up. No mudra or anything today. Or maybe you like to have the hands in the lap if they feel more comfortable with the forearms resting on the thighs. And then you can close the eyes. You can take a soft gaze down to the feet, down to the mat. I'm going to close the eyes today and just take in the day. I've got the window open here and the birds are singing outside. So hopefully you'll get little bird song. Or maybe you are hearing your own bird song around you. So tap into the sounds around you in the morning. And the days are so light and long at the moment. You know, we're coming up to the summer solstice, June the 21st, so not far away now where, you know, we get that longest of days of the year. So about 5 a.m. at the moment, and, you know, sun setting about 9 p.m. It's such a nice length for the day to get things done. And you're starting it in the best way possible by investing in yourself to get yourself centered, get yourself balanced, and find some time for you. So I'm just going to leave you for a few moments just to breathe in the day. Maybe set an intention for your day. What would you like to achieve? What is a goal that you'd like to fulfill today? Or maybe an affirmation. Maybe it's, I am creative, as Tallulah said this morning. And as you're contemplating and reflecting on what you'd like to achieve or fulfill through your day, or what you would like to get from your day, just take a few steady breaths in and out of the nostrils, breathing all the way down the spine. And letting go of any tightness, tension that you may have woken up with this morning. Our hearts speak volumes. We can learn and grow from intuitive clues if we know how to listen in stillness. Intuition gives signs as to how we can fulfill our desires and take the necessary actions to make our dreams come true. To find your intuition, take some time to sit in silence, maybe later on in the day, to reflect on what you've done this morning with us. And while sitting in silence, listen to what your heart has to say. It may take some practice, but in time, you will recognize your own inner voice. And so let's open the eyes, lift the knees together, and just give ourselves a big morning hug. Stretch the spine over the thighs. Let the head and the neck release to the knees. Take a deep breath in here and just sigh out through the mouth, all the way to the earth, relaxing the head down. And then roll up through the spine And you can take a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you here. We're just going to start working through the body. So moving through the head, moving through the shoulders. So dropping chin to chest, stretching the back of the neck, lifting chin, lengthening the neck, looking to sky. So just repeating that. Exhaling, chin to chest. Inhaling, chin to sky. So you just want to feel the 7 smaller cervical vertebrae moving this morning. Breathing out as you drop the chin, the shoulders don't roll forwards, and looking up to the sky, relaxing through the face. Last time, chin to chest, chin to sky. Bring center, chin to shoulder. So keep trying not to let that shoulder roll inwards, keeping open through the chest. Bring back into the center as you breathe in, exhaling over to the opposite shoulder. So inhale, center, exhale to the left or to the right, doesn't matter. Yeah, noticing maybe you feel tightness in one side than the other, and see if you can really just isolate through the neck, keeping the chin nice and lifted. And the gaze tracks around your room. And last time. And bring back into center. Drop the ear over to the shoulder. Try not to lift this shoulder up. Maybe you like to reach the fingers away so that you get a deeper stretch here. Try to not to tilt the chin down or tilt the chin up, but keep the face nice and forward. Give yourself a little smile. Oh, that's a stretch going on there if I've stretched my fingers out. And then bring back into center and then just go to the other side. So ear to shoulder, relax the shoulders, draw that opposite shoulder down, reach the fingers away. Keep the face facing forward, breathing in and out. So you're sitting nice and tall here, you're not rigid, not too firm. And then bring back into center. And then semicircles. So chin drops to the chest, ear to the shoulder, chin to chest, ear to shoulder. So trying not to go all the way around. Try to make these nice semicircles really smooth, that you're drawing an arc with your chin. Again, the gaze tracks as the head moves. And just feel that you're lubricating through the neck joints. And then bring yourself up. Change the feet if you had cross-legged. Let's start with our shoulders. So circling shoulders. Let's get creative with the shoulders here. So breathing in as you draw them up towards the ears as high as they'll go. Oh, it's quite a horrible place to be. And then exhale, circle back. Just notice how the neck responds when you circle. So circle forward and up and back and down. So again, you want to think of this nice circle with the shoulder, that you're coming forward, up, back, and down. That's it. So you're drawing a circle with the shoulder. Good. And last one, drawing up, back, and down, and then isolate the shoulders. So lift one and release, lift the other and release, up, down, up, down. Doesn't matter how fast or slow, just want you to think of just one shoulder lifting at a time. Speed it up a little. You can just give them a little shimmy, little shake. Shaky, 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 shaky. Shake the elbows, shake the hands. Let's come into the wrists. So firing off the fingers, firing off the wrists. Clenching fists and extending the fingers. So flexing through the wrists here with a fist. Feel that stretch on the top there. And then flexing the hands, flexing, and the wrists and hands. Get the fingers moving as well, so really space out as much as you can into the fingers, stretch the hands. Good. Then this time you're going to start to gently pull the fingers towards you. So again, you get that stretch. I'm going to take my watch off, I think. So pulling the fingers back towards you. You can hold on to the top of the wrist here. And then flexing and gently pulling the fingers. So you're going to push through the little beds of the fingers there. Once more, pull back towards you. And lift the fingers. Other side. Pull fingers towards you. I know some people get their thumb all the way to their wrist. And then pull the fingers back as you flex. And then shake that out. Circle the wrists this time. So rotation. A little bit of cracking going on in my wrists always. So just notice the sounds, notice the feeling and the sensations. And then let's come to tabletop. So this is where we're going to use our wrist flexors and extensions. So just sway the hips out a little bit. Make sure you're comfortable here. Knees underneath the hips and wrists can be underneath the shoulders. If you feel that the wrist is too far compressed here, you can always come a little bit further forward of the shoulders, but make sure that you've got the abdomen and the spine engaged. So just sway from side to side. Feel the palms connecting, spreading the fingers. The middle finger is in line with the edges of your mat. And then turn the fingers outwards. So the inner arms face one another. Now notice where your eye of your elbow sits. So is the eye of the elbow facing forward or is it facing inwards? See if you can do a little bit of a wrist rotation there. So you're pushing the eye forward and then a little bit of wrist rotation, elbows come inwards. Good. And then see if you can bring the palms back a little bit more. Oh, fingers face you this time. Again, the eye of the elbow is most likely to face forward. So take this one nice and easy. If all of the fingers fit down on the mat, that's great. Try to spread the fingers and the thumbs as much as you can. And to deepen this stretch, maybe bring the knees forward just a little bit towards the fingers. And then start to bring the hips back, trying to keep the heel of your hand pressing downwards into the mat. Oh, big stretch. Don't go too much. You might feel that in the wrist here, but also in the upper arm and the elbow joint. And then last one, fingers go inwards towards one another. And the eye of the elbow goes out to the side. Again, pushing away from the mat. You're not dumping into the wrists. And maybe the elbows are bent or straight here. See if you can just bend the elbows, lowering the chest. Pressing up, keeping the fingers nice and spread. Lots of space between them. And see if you can lift the fingers away from the mat. See if you can wiggle. Keeping the heel down. Good. So this time, come off the wrists, circle. Oh, how do they feel? So that's your wrist flexors. Now for the extensions. So this one is the backs of the hands come down like this. Fingertips face you. Thumbs are facing into the center. And again, the knees can be quite close to the fingers. And if you wish to deepen, keeping the back of the hand down, release the hips back towards the heels. See if you try to straighten the elbows inwards, you're going to get that deeper stretch into the back of your hands, back of the wrist. Try to keep the thumb and the little finger connected if you can. Wiggle the fingers here, backs of the hands stay down. And release. Good. Interlace the fingers. You can stay kneeling if that's comfortable, or you can remain seated. Press the heels of the hands here together and then start to circle the wrists. So you might wish to do a figure of 8. So draw a figure of 8 one way. You'd always go to your first way that's more comfortable first, and then reverse the figure of 8. Ooh, going the opposite way. The figure of 8's the infinity symbol, never ending. Always moving. That's harder, going the opposite way. A little bit of focus needed. And release. Good. Shake the fingers, shake the wrists. Good work. Okay, so upper back, bringing the feet out in front of you, and little kind of forward folds, back extensions here. So it's a cat and a cow, seated cat and a cow. So we draw up the belly back. Shin comes to the chest. And then lifting chest, maybe the gaze goes up to the sky. So think about the mobilization through the upper, the middle, and the lower back. So breathing out. This is your cat as you round. Breathing in. Cow as you lift. A few more, just find that mobilization through the spine. Make sure that you are moving all of the vertebra. Breathing out, rounding. Breathing in, lifting. So this time, your head comes down to the chest. You roll through the spine. You bring your head down towards your feet. Stay here for 5 deep, slow, long breaths, letting the head drop towards the toes. Notice how that feels in the spine, but also maybe in the hips and the buttocks here. And from here, we're going to lengthen the spine. So you're going to lift the chest. Crown of the head reaches forward. You open the chest, open upper back, and you come into a nice flat spine. Now draw the belly back and round through the spine, dropping the chin to the chest, letting the head release once more. Notice if you get a bit more depth there. Lengthen the spine. So tailbone is reaching backwards, crown of the head reaches forward. You're a magpie outside. And then draw the belly back once more, exhaling. Last time, straighten the spine. Lengthen. See if you're getting any more depth in that fold, and lift back up. Release the hands behind you. Fingertips face forward, elbows draw in towards one another, and lift the chest. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, not collapsing, so you're pressing away from the mat, opening up through the front chain of the body, breathing here. Good. And then bring yourself center. Let's take a twist. So you can take your right hand to the knee, just use a little bit of leverage and open up the chest to the side. You can look forward towards the feet if you like. That's quite nice as you draw that back shoulder behind you, or you might wish to see how flexible your neck is this morning after those warm-ups and look to the shoulder. Breathe in and out, lengthening the spine here on your inhale, exhaling as you deepen. Bring back into the center, take it to the other side. Again, head can stay looking forward, drawing the shoulder back, and then maybe, depending on the flexibility of your head and neck, turning to look over the shoulder. Inhaling to lift through the spine, exhaling, deepening the rotation. Bringing back into center, lifting the knees together and sending the legs out long, lifting up right arm and then just sweeping yourself over. Really keep grounded through this side of the body. So you're going to stretch over. Maybe the hand comes down onto a block or onto the forearm without compromising this lift here. So you see what I've done? I want to draw down that buttock. So you're going to stretch from hip all the way to the fingers. And then roll the rib cage just a little bit. Maybe the gaze looks underneath the elbow. Roll the shoulder. Make sure you're nice and free there. There's no tightness into this shoulder crease and in the neck. And from here, we're going to round the shoulders and reach the hand down. So you're going to reach over to the top right corner of your mat. That's it. And then fold. So you're going to pull back through that opposite hip. And then from here, we're going to open that back up. So that top arm lifts, rolling open. Lovely. So do 3 of those. Roll forward, exhaling, letting the head drop. Inhaling, open. And see how much open you get there. Exhaling, release. Each one gets easier. And inhaling, lift. Last time, exhale, over. And inhale, lift. Bring yourself back into the center. Let's go other side. Inhaling, stretching up and over. Keep grounding through that buttock. Try not to lift it up. Feel strong through this side body. You're not collapsing either. And then roll the rib cage. Maybe you look underneath the elbow. Circle the shoulder. Give yourself that little bit of freedom. Be creative. And then roll through the body, reaching the hands down, exhaling. Inhaling, lifting up and opening. Exhaling. This is working through the side body. Inhaling, open. Exhaling, rounding. Inhaling, open. Last time, exhaling, folding, really letting that head release as well. And inhale, bring yourself up and back into center. Let's bring the knees in. Let's take them a little bit wider so that we can get the belly through the thighs, taking the hands underneath, interlace the wrists, and just rest the head down towards the wrists. Relax the shoulders. And roll up through the spine, spin the legs back around behind you. And circle the hips this time. So hopefully the wrists feel a little bit warmer, the shoulders, the torso. Circle back the other way. And find cat and cows here. So inhaling, looking forward for your cow, dropping through the belly, and exhaling, curling into cat. And let's bring back into child's pose here. So taking a wide knees, toes come together. You can support the head on a block or the hands, or maybe the hands go out in front of you. So find that child's pose now and just reach the fingers away as you stretch through the spine, breathing out. Those magpies are taunting my cat outside. She's not impressed, and neither are they. They're protecting their little young. So lifting up, walking the hands over, And just bringing the knees together just a little bit here. Twisted child's pose. Release the body down over the thigh. And really trying to pull back through that left hip. So pulling the left hip to the heel. Good, that's it. Walking the hands back in, lifting up the belly, getting it all the way over the left thigh as you reach the fingers away, pulling the right hip towards the right heel. You're going to feel that side body stretch there. Walking the hands back in, come back into tabletop, lifting up through the right arm, opening through the side body, and then sending the arm through and under, or threading the needle. You can keep that left hand on the palm, or you might wish to reach it forward, keeping the hips nice and high above the knees, melting through the chest. Feeling that gentle twist. And then bring the hand back if you stretched it out. Bring yourself back into the center, lifting up left arm and threading it through. Keeping hips high over the knees, maybe on the palm of the right hand or stretching it forward. You're just resting on the side of your head, the temple, the ear. Breathing in and out. And then bring yourself back into center and just come back to kneeling with a wide knees. So dropping the hips down onto the heels. Sit tall here. Just notice how the spine feels. Taking a pause because we're working down the body from the head, the neck, the shoulders, into the arms, the wrists, into the spine. Now we're coming into the lower part of the spine, into the hips and the pelvis. So bringing the knees together and bringing the right foot towards your right hand. So pulling back into your half splits and dropping forward into a nice low lizard lunge. Long spine here, crown of the head reaches away. So the crown is in line with your sit bones here. Pulling back, don't pull back too far. So make sure that you're pulling back so you've got that 90-degree here and you're lengthening the spine here. You're not collapsing through the torso. So you can use the blocks if you've got those handy. Draw those toes back towards the shin and soften through that front right knee. If it's a little bit too tight into the hamstrings already this morning, dropping forward, stretching through the thigh and the hip flexor of the left leg. Pull back into your half splits or runner's lunge. Dropping forward. Then keeping the left hand there, we're going to lift the right arm up and just twist towards that right thigh. See if you can drop the hips just a little bit. The hand might not go to the sky. It can always stay onto the sacrum if that feels good. And then you can roll the shoulder, open the chest, just as we did in those side body stretches and rotational twist. Maybe the gaze goes back over the shoulder or looking forward. And just notice here what your foot is doing. Is your foot turning out or is it facing forward? Are you compressing into the ankle? Good. And then nice and slowly bring yourself back into center. Pull yourself back into half splits. Bring the heel into the center of the mat there. Fingertips up onto the mat. Lengthen the spine and then exhale. Fold over the leg. Let the head release to the shin. Soften through the back of that right knee if those hamstrings feel a little tight, but see how far you and your range of motion, your flexibility goes in the morning. It might be different in the evening. And then bringing that leg back into tabletop, circling out and changing sides. Left leg comes forward, dropping through the hips, low lizard. So crown of the head keeps in line with the tailbone. Shoulders are drawn back. And then pull back the hips, 90 degrees, lifting the toes. And exhaling, dropping, stretching through hip flexors and the quad. And pulling back. So last time, right hand stays down. Again, you can just check what that foot's doing. Is it rolling out to the side? Is it turning out? You're going to start to drop the hips a little bit more and turn the body. Hand might come to the sacrum to give yourself a little press, or you can lift the hand up to the sky. Palm faces forward here, and the gaze can look down to your right hand, pushing away from the mat. Breathing, holding, nice and slowly, release the hands, bring the heel into the center, turn the toes up towards the shin, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, fold. Let the head release down. And then release, bring the knees back. Take a wide leg child's pose here. Take the elbows down and press the palms together. Nape, the thumbs go into the nape of the neck here. All fingers are connected. So really push the elbows forward. Releasing into the hips. If there's any tightness into the chest or shoulders, breathe into there. Breathe into the hips. Breathe into the spine. And then release the hands. Pull yourself back into kneeling. And just bring the right leg forward. So we're going to drop through this right hip and open up this left calf. If you need to, you have the option of sitting on a block, so you can place that block underneath the right buttock if that feels okay, or you might be on the floor. That's good too. So make sure that calf's all the way away from your thigh. Sitting nice and tall here. Inhale the arms up. And then exhale, reach towards the toes. Fold over that right thigh. Might feel that deep into the hamstrings of the right leg. If there's any pressure in that left knee, be careful there. That's why the block sometimes helps to lift you up. Let the head relax down towards the right knee. Slow breaths. And then rolling up through the spine, the hands come back behind you. This leg comes underneath. You're going to press into that back toes and foot, stretch the foot and lift the hips. Little quad stretch going on in that left leg. Lift the hips a little more. Open the chest to the sky and slowly release. Nice and carefully lift the knee and place the sole of the foot on the inside of your right leg. Inhale and exhale, fold once more. Try and draw the left shoulder downwards equal to the right. Let the head release to the knee. Few breaths. Finding the sensations of the postures. And slowly roll up. So we're going to take that leg across the thigh this time. Hands come back behind you, and you're going to draw the heel in towards you. So it's going to release into the left hip a little bit. That left foot is flexed, pressing away from those hands. The closer that your right knee is in towards your chest, the deeper that becomes, but not compromising through the spine. So keeping the spine nice and long. That's it. Keep that left knee pressing outwards. Try and relax into that left buttock, left hip, and slowly release that right leg down. Left leg comes down to the mat, either on the inside or the outside of that of the right leg, and take a twist here. Elbow may come over the knee, or you can hug it, lifting up the chest into the twist. Breathing in, lengthening, breathing out, deepening. And slowly bring yourself back into center and release the leg. Let's change to the other side. So I'm going to change sides actually. I'll come and face this way. So right leg comes behind you. Again, lift up, get that calf out of the way. And you're going to press into the toes of that right foot, using the block to sit on if you need. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, reach long and forward. Maybe the hands come to the toes or down by the side of the leg. Try to draw the chest down towards the leg, letting the head relax to the knee. Try not to be too lopsided on the left shoulder, so evening off the right shoulder as much as the left. Nice and slowly roll up through the spine. Hands come back behind you this time. You're going to press into this back foot, lifting the hips, pointing that left foot down towards the mat. The gaze can look along the body. Draw the abdomen in. Lift the hips a little more. Deep stretch into that right quadricep. Look to the sky if you feel good. Open the chest. Make sure you're pressing away from the mat, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Good. And slowly release, rock over to the left hip, lift the right leg, and open the hip up for head to knee pose. Sole of the foot comes into the left thigh. Inhale the arms up, and exhale, reach over. So you're going to try and draw both shoulders equally downwards, right shoulder as much as the left. What tends to happen is we tend to dip, and the right shoulder lifts. And be aware here of your hip as well. This is a hip posture, not just spinal. Softening the breath to let go a little bit more. And then walking the hands back, rolling up through the spine, bending that left knee, popping that right foot over, flexing through that right foot, opening up that knee, hands might come behind you. Keeping the spine nice and long. The closer that shin comes to the chest, deeper that becomes. Yeah. So make sure you don't get the neck stuck into the shoulder socket. So you're really pushing away through the hands, keeping nice long neck. Lovely. Breathe into any tight areas of that right hip, right buttock, right glute. And then slowly slide that left leg away and you come down, preparing for your twist. Lift the belly away from the thigh, turning towards the right leg. Maybe the arm comes over and open up the chest. You can always look forward or over back shoulder. Nice and slowly bring yourself back in through center. Send the legs long this time. Draw the toes back towards you. Sit nice and tall. Breathe in. Take a full fold here. Reach out and exhale. Keep the chest nice and open if you can. Looking way above the toes rather than bringing the head down to the knee. So you're looking past the feet. Chest is nice and open. Long spine. Good. Relax the shoulders. Breathe out. Slow, long, deep breaths. And then push yourself up. Swing the legs around behind you. Come all the way onto the belly, into prone position. So just relax the belly, relax the spine here. Head comes to the back of the hands. And just sway the hips out. Just notice how the spine feels after a little bit of movement first thing in the morning. Might not be used to it. So let's come into a back extension of Sphinx. So arms come out in front of you, onto the forearms, elbows underneath the shoulders. Again, open the chest, pressing up away from the mat. And if you wish to add in a little bit of hip work here, you can widen the knees, lift the feet and the shins, and then bring the toes together up above the buttocks. So dropping the pubic bone, the hip bones down, you're pressing up through that back extension. Feet might come together, maybe the toes touch or the whole soles of the feet. And then lowering the body, lowering the legs, sway out. Our frog here, right leg comes out to the side, 90-degree bend in the knee, 90-degree bend in the ankle. Make sure that the left leg hasn't turned out at all. The left foot is pressing into the mat, and try and drop as much as you can through that right hip. Try and relax everything here. And always an option to add on is a Sphinx pose here or a seal. So you can press through the hands. This is your seal pose. So you can drop the hips even further, pressing away. You don't have to come too high in seal or Sphinx. Good. And lowering down and then bringing the right leg back. Sway out through the hips. Left leg goes out 90 degrees in the hip and knee and ankle. Softening through the left hip, pressing into the right foot, right toes. Make sure that's in line with your right hip. And again, choosing the option of either Sphinx with half frog or seal. Seal is a little bit deeper for the spine. Nice and slowly lower the body down. And then bring that left leg back. Sway out. Right hand sweeps behind to take hold of your right foot. Draw the heel in as you lift the hip flexor, lengthening the thigh back down the mat. Give yourself that quad stretch. Exhaling as you do. Releasing the foot, changing sides. Left hand takes left foot. Lift the knee and thigh away as you pull the hip flexor downwards. It's going to deepen that quad stretch, and then draw the heel in towards the buttock rather than the heel in towards the hip. So straight into the center of the glutes. Drawing both hip flexors downwards as you lengthen through that left quadricep, left thigh. And slowly release and come back to neutral prone, sway out. A little bit of work needed for the next one, which is our bow pose. So hands come back, taking both feet, flexing through the ankles, roll the shoulders away and push the feet into the hands. Maybe the knees lift, maybe the body lifts. And you're in that beautiful bow shape, nice back extension, open the heart. Remember the words that we spoke about, the heart, finding your true heart's desire and intuitions for the day. And maybe you rock a little, forwards and backwards. Release the bow, hands come by the hips, turn to the cheek, and sway out. Good work, almost there. And let's turn over onto our backs from here. And draw the knees in towards the chest. So just roll out a little bit through the spine. So just being aware now that you've done some spinal movement for the morning. You've worked through the wrists, the neck, the shoulders, the hips, the hamstrings, the thighs. And then circle the knees to each side, both together. Circle the other way, massaging through the pelvis, drawing the abdomen back in towards the back, and the back in towards the mat. Open the knees, take the hips in an external rotation and just draw the knees in towards the rib cage here, just pulling backwards and forwards. Relaxing, letting go of tightness in those hip joints. And then bringing the knees together, placing the soles of the feet down. Pelvic tilts here. So little tilts with the pelvis. The pelvis tilts up, pubic bone lifts, curl through the spine, buttocks come off of the mat, and then you lower through the lower back, and you might wish to tilt the pelvis backwards. So we're doing an anterior and a posterior tilt, and that means that the spine may come away from the mat here. So you drop the belly and then lift the hips And then roll down through the spine and maybe pull the tailbone back underneath you as the spine arches. So finding a breath, lifting up, exhaling, rolling down, pulling back. So it's a cat and a cow, basically, in reclined. Feel grounded through the feet here, really pressing into the toes. And then last time, just find neutral and bring the feet into the buttocks as close as you can. Maybe you can take hold of the feet here. See if you can grab hold of the ankles and pull them in just a little bit more. And just stay there. Draw the shoulders down. Neck is long, spine is long. Toes face forward, heels turn out. Release the feet just a little bit more. Full bridge, pressing up, lengthening the knees away from you, lengthening the neck. Holding for 5 breaths. Engage the glutes. Lift the hips. Can you press into the hands, press into the left foot to lift the right foot and extend it to the sky? Keep lifting the hips. Release the right foot down. Shift the weight into the right and the palms. Lift the left foot. Extend it to the sky. Lift the hips. Point the toes upwards. Lovely. Release the left down. Lift the hips once more. And then roll down through the spine. Draw the knees in. Roll and massage out. And then happy baby here. So opening the knees, taking hold of the feet, just rocking from side to side, lengthening the tailbone down as you find stillness for 3 breaths. And release the feet, release the hands, draw the knees in, arms come out to the side of you. And little twists here. We're just going to drop the knees over to the right as you breathe out, keeping both shoulders planted to the mat. Breathe in and breathe out. Go to the other side. So just windscreen wiping the knees out right and left. Really using the entire core, so sides of the body, the abdominals and the back extensors to support this twist. It's a little bit of core work's needed. And maybe the knees come down, maybe they don't. I'd rather that they don't compromise the chest opening and the shoulders drawing down to get the knees down. And last time, over to the left as you breathe out. Bring back into center and then lift the legs and the arms. Dead bug pose. Bend at the knees if you need to, or straight legs. Take a look at your feet. Last thing we need to work is our ankles and our toes. Hands come out to the side, or maybe cactus, your choice. So drawing the toes backwards, pressing through the soles of the feet, flexing through the ankles, spreading the toes as much as you can. Little toe pulls out to the side, big toe pulls into the center, then press through the ball of the foot to point. Pull back the toes, the ball of the foot, flexion through the ankle. Imagine you're an acro yoga practitioner and you've got somebody on your feet, you're supporting them, your legs are strong. Pull the little toes out to the side, pull the big toes into the center, feel the space between the toes, and then press through the balls of the foot. Toes are still pulling back. And then the toes lengthen. Last time, pull the toes back, flexion through the ankles, spread, spread, spread. And then press through the balls of the feet and to point, circle the toes, circle the ankles. Rotation here. You can bend the knees. Good. Last posture today. Soles of the feet come together. Knees go out to the side. Reclined bound angle. So bring the hands just onto the left hand onto the heart, right hand onto the belly. Close the eyes and just take a few moments to think about what you've done for your body and your mind today. Reminding yourself of any intention, any affirmation, any heartfelt desires. And draw into your own intuition here for preparing you for the rest of your day ahead, the rest of your week. Release the hands, take the hands to the thighs as you lift the knees together. And just take a moment in Shavasana. This is not a full Shavasana. This is just to feel your body, one complete unit. The entire body has been worked from head to toe. So just now give yourself a body scan, observing as you travel. Breathing out, letting go, tension, tightness that may still be remaining. Wiggling fingers and toes, drawing the knees in, and just a final roll and massage through the spine. And just rolling over to one side and just bringing yourself up nice and slowly, no rush. Just return up to that comfortable butterfly seat we began in. Soles of the feet come together. Hands might just rest into the lap as you sit. And just notice how you feel as we return to our starting place. Only 60 minutes ago. And I hope this will set you up for the rest of your day ahead. And I always encourage you to thank yourself for showing up. It's only you who invests in you. And I thank you always. Namaste.